Hi, I'm T. I am 22 years old of age. I'm a student. My hobbies are telling jokes, graphical design, editing pictures, poetry. I don't really write, but I enjoy poetry, music, and art. My favorite color is gray. If it's sports, I play volleyball. My favorite food is shawarma. This is how it goes. At a young age, my parents would be busy. Like my mom was doing her master's, is it? When I was a child, something like master's. So she was in, I think, degree in master's or something. So she was usually never at home. Then dad worked the whole day. So I had a situation where I was left with older female cousins. And they had boyfriends they'd bring over, and so I'd be like the playing son, the playing son system. Yeah, I think, and also their friends. I just used to hear what they used to talk about. It brought a lot of questions in my head. And fast forward, I started thinking about sex at a young age and Googling, but I never really did anything till maybe did anything in terms of research, not actually doing stuff till like junior secondary, because that's the time I think most people are exposed to these things. You get to mix with people after puberty and stuff. So yeah, I also had a bit of bullying against me. Is it bullying against? Yeah, I was bullied in junior secondary, just a little bit. Then secondary, senior, I had my difficulties also. Yeah, had my difficulties. Then I went through school mostly smoothly. I had my ups and downs, but I think that's the stage at which porn was introduced, porn and masturbation, because those things move together. I think whether you like it or not, if you do one, you're most likely doing the other also. Yeah. So after school, I started talking to girls more, but it wasn't I did not have any understanding of what was going on, because I was usually uncomfortable around females, but I saw it as the cool thing to do because everyone was doing it, so I also did it. I was brought up in a comfortable home. We had everything, I can say, money, everything, comfortable. If I wanted something to do, I'd get it. But after some time, my father lost his job and things became a bit different. So I asked for money to start a business, and the business partner was like an elderly church member, like well respected. He traveled, and I also traveled with him. And I started to see things like he used to cheat on his wife. He used to have multiple girlfriends, and I thought that was part of being a man growing up, because I was still young at that age. I was like 16. That was after high school, and I thought these were the normal things to do. I can't say I had anxiety yet at that point. I can say it was still brewing up. So the business didn't work out, and at that point I decided to go to school abroad, somewhere in Russia. Yeah, that's where the main anxiety started from, because when I was in Russia, I kept on getting news that things at home were still bad, nothing was improving. So I just had my own mental issues. You start making mistakes, and that ended up getting deported because I didn't renew my visa. My mind was everywhere at that point. So I didn't manage to renew my visa. I don't know why. ended up getting deported, and I went back home. When I arrived home, things were different. Everything seemed to be worse, much worse than I left it. My parents were arguing a lot, like in our presence as children. I was the oldest at home at the point, and I didn't know what to do, so I began to do things like blame myself. I started blaming myself, started finding reasons and faults in everything I do, like, oh, this is because of me. It was at this point I had my first real panic attack. The ones I had before, I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't understand them. So I basically feel like, it feels like a heart attack. I'm sure anyone with a panic attack has felt this. Feel like a heart attack. Yeah, like you're having a heart attack and then you don't have control of anything. You can't move, you can't move. You just feel uncomfortable. So that led me to go to the hospital in a panicked state. I went to the hospital, started asking the doctor, what's wrong with me? I'm having a heart attack. Please check me. I asked for money from home. I told them I'm having heart problems or something. They gave me money eventually. The doctors were saying there's nothing. We've x-rayed you, we've done this, the heart scan thing. There was nothing. But I knew, I thought there was something wrong. When I googled all those symptoms, I told my parents, I think I'm having this anxiety stuff. African parents, or the traditional parents, they don't believe in mental problems. So that's how I started having suicidal thoughts. And one day of sleepless nights led to the other. Then one time I decided, okay, I think I'm done. It's time to go home or to heaven or hell. I don't know why people, I think it's hell. It's time to go to hell. And it's not really like time to go to hell, but I'm tired. That's the feeling. I'm tired of everything. No one cares. So I stabbed myself in the chest and I bled. It was actually quite painful. So I couldn't finish it up, but I bled a lot. I eventually hid it up from my parents. They never found out about that incident, but I asked them if I can go stay with my older sister because I was terrorizing myself. I felt like the environment wasn't good for me, so I decided to move with my sister. But where I moved, that's where my alcohol problem started, because my sister was usually out of the house for months on, because she usually used to work in the field. So me living at her house was basically me living alone. It was quieter, without hearing my parents argue, for example, without hearing all the issues at home. I'd be alone when I'm at my sister's house, and that would make me feel somehow better. But I started drinking there, and I had a chance now to explore in terms of sexually. All these repressed thoughts started coming out. The porn continued. Alcohol was introduced. There was so much. From afterwards, it became a downward thing. I applied for college somewhere in Lusaka. I got accepted. The decisions I was making in terms of my relationship life were very poor. I date so many girls just for the sake of it, break up with them, date so many, break up with them, date so many. After some time, it comes with so much drama and problems. Started getting into problems, and that's when I realized that, I think this is an actual problem, a mental problem, an actual issue. And that's how I decided I wanted to see a therapist, but I couldn't, because therapists are a bit expensive. all the therapists I tried to see are a bit expensive, so I started to talk to people about it, tell people what's happening. Some people don't take it seriously, some do, but that's how it is. As time moved on, and as I started to accept myself and work on my problems, it became better. The whole anxiety thing was still with me for a long time, but it started reducing. It lasted, I think, the major part of it lasted for over 2 to 3 years, and it came with depression and those sorts of things. And I can say I found is playing active sports with people, going for walks, meditating, fasting, praying, and eating healthy, and just doing things you enjoy. Doing things you enjoy, they'll do a good job in keeping you happy or helping you grow. I had an instance where I told my parents and they brushed it off. I still remember that they brushed it off. My sisters, only until recently did I start talking to them about it, and it seems to have worked because they are praying for me and all the support is there. Friends, I only told 1 or 2 because I feel a lot of embarrassment talking about the things I've done and the things that get to me. They seem like small things when you explain them, but when you deal with them, they seem big, so I feel embarrassed. I feel like, like people think I just want attention, so I choose to keep quiet sometimes, but I've told 1 or 2 people, even 3 maybe, a few strangers. Spiritual support, I say my older sister does a great job with that because she's been giving me Bible verses also, because religion is important in dealing with these things. Treatment and medication, I'd say if it was treatment and medication, I once tried to go to town. I googled some of these antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, but I guess they're like drugs, they're dangerous, you need a prescription. So I couldn't buy any, but I was hoping I could, because at some point I was terrorized by my own mind, and I know some people are going through the same. The only healing and medication I can say I've found is playing active sports with people, going for walks, meditating, fasting, praying, and eating healthy, and just doing things you enjoy. Any advice I'd give to anyone going through the same or similar issues or even bigger issues is be kind to yourself just as you're kind to others, but start with being kind to yourself. If you're going to choose what to start with, whether being kind to others or yourself, I'd say you start with yourself first, because you can't be kind to others if you're not kind to yourself. As you are kind to others also, do not allow anyone to put you down or tell you what you are not. Don't allow external things to affect you. Then avoid living for others, trying to impress other people, because that is something that isn't possible. You'll never be able to impress everyone. So there's no point. You can just go ahead living your life as you are, as long as you're happy, I guess. As long as you're happy. Do not try to impress other people by taking their paths or what they want for you. Do what's best for you. And I can say this too shall come to pass. Yeah, it's written, this too shall come to pass, because anything you're going through, even from a religious point of view, you'll never be given a challenge which is too big for you. You're always given a challenge where you're equal to the task. And I would like someone to understand, anyone going through this, is that everyone makes mistakes. If you've made mistakes, you can move on from them and try to avoid making the same mistake twice at all costs. If you have any bad habits happening, for me, I'd say that the worst habits, I'd say for me, were alcohol, drug use, and pornography. All those were the worst. But if you've got anything bad happening to you, I'd say you get out of the situation as soon as possible and work on yourself. If that means getting out of a bad relationship, you should get out of it if it's not doing good for you. Then also, some more advice I'd give is, as you improve yourself, continue being kind to yourself. There'll be setbacks, but you can work past that. And I'd like you to know that you are loved and you're still needed. In case you're thinking of anything, no matter the situation, you are loved and needed, and you are not alone.